Alright, so first things first, I kind of gotta do some housekeeping here. Um, so, following the last video, I got a new camera, so that was cool. Actually, I don't think my mic is right in front of me, so I hope that helps. Um, got a new camera, right? And I basically, my wife decided that she wanted to do some spring cleaning, right? And I was kind of feeling that as well. Like I was like in the same mood. Like, yeah, we need to change some stuff up. But what she wanted to do initially is she wanted to basically bring all of our stuff in our living room and bring it into our guest bedroom, game room, whatever you want to call it. Well, as it turns out, uh, that would have meant moving a whole lot of shit because our living room is our living room. Like we do all of our gaming in there. We do pretty much everything in the living room. Um, so anywho, so I tried to talk her into, well, like basically like what was the root of the problem? Like why do we need to do this? And it turns out basically she wanted to be able to entertain her friends, um, like I don't know, in a more like non gamer room, or like a more comfortable room, because like our living room feels like a gamer's den, because it kind of basically is. Um, Sorry if I'm really quiet. It's like early in the morning. I'm trying to get like fresh daylight. Um, Anywho, there's fucking just dust flying around everywhere. I don't know why. Um, Anywho, so yeah, so we kind of pulled the trigger on that. Like, got the whole like game room cleaned up. Like, got everything sorted out. But then on top of that, we also decided to pull the trigger on her gaming PC. So last year, I kind of got like just a whole bunch of shit. Like I don't even remember exactly what it was, but like I I just spent a lot of money last year. And I honestly probably spent even just as much, if not more, this year already. Um, but I kind of promised her like as like um, I don't know, like a way to make it up to her. To this year, we were going to get her a gaming PC. She had a gaming PC, or at least something you could call a gaming PC, um, for about, oh, I don't know, 5 years or so. But you know, gaming PCs they get outdated and antiquated really fast. Um, not a lot faster than consoles, I would say, more often than not. But I won't get into the whole PC versus console war because I could go on and on about that one. Um, Anywho, so uh, this is hopefully going to be my part two of my life through video games video. But if you're wondering why I kind of like said like I'm gonna start making a bunch of videos and then like abruptly fell off again, that's that's why. It's because we did a whole bunch of spring cleaning. We only just got her computer finally set up this weekend, actually, or last weekend, sometime this week. It's happened recently, very recently. So yeah, things have been kind of rough. Um, as for the other PC, the one that we were using, that's probably going to become like my PC. And I probably won't do too much gaming on it because I'm not really a PC gamer to begin with. But I'll try and do all of my video. I would say editing, but I don't do any editing. Um, Video software stuff on there. Um, I quickly tried to bring up some of my basic software on this one, and of course, she's already put in a password lock, so you can't change settings without administrator password or whatever. Fine. We're just running with raw, like brand. I made a profile like 2 minutes ago, kind of programs right here. But anywho, let's just jump right in. I think the last episode we kind of left off. I was talking about Pokemon. I was off on a huge tangent, and actually, I think I'm going to try and make a second video today, specifically talking about Pokemon as a series, so that I don't get too into all of the other Pokemon games, because that could be a pitfall that like I fall into because I played pretty much every Pokemon game up until Alpha Red or Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby. I didn't play either of those. Those were the ones that I finally didn't get. Anywho, that's not important. So we left off, I think, on Pokemon Crystal. I'm gonna go back and talk about some of the games that I missed, that I forgot to talk about. Now, previously, when I made the original first video, I actually had a list. Like, I actually had like a plan that I had that I was going off of. So that's how I was able to actually kind of like stay on task on that, because that's not normally something I'm very good at. I don't make a script for these. So I kind of gave myself some rough ideas. I just gestured to my other monitor like you could see it, to get myself started, but hopefully I'm just giving myself enough to get started. So first off, we're going to talk about Spyro. I talked about Crash Bandicoot a lot, but I didn't touch on Spyro at all. Even though I basically played them at roughly the same time, because I played Spyro very shortly after I played Crash Bandicoot. Spyro, honestly, I think in a lot of ways it's a much better game franchise. I think it's way more accessible. It's way less aggravating. It's not nearly as like skill based as Crash Bandicoot is. Crash Bandicoot is kind of like a fucking masochist kind of game. People who like Dark Souls fucking try out Crash Bandicoot, jump on those fucking nitro boxes and shit. Anywho, yeah. So, Spyro the Dragon, the original one it was so cool. It was so colorful. It was so, like, whimsical, fantastical. You know, unlocking all the dragons was cool. Collecting all the gems was cool. Kind of a pain in the ass, though. Like, it really sucked when, like, you were, like, 1 or 2 gems short of, like, finishing a whole level. And, like, you would just fucking rack your brain, fucking like going everywhere. Even as an adult, I recently got the Spyro Remastered set. Not recently. I say recently, but it was probably like 2 or 3 years ago at this point. When it came out, roughly. Replayed the first game, and I actually 100%ed it like within like a week, which was kind of crazy because like I remember as a kid it was like it took me way longer. I think I was kind of starting school, so I might have just not had as much time. Which is it's not like I have more time now. I'm just I don't know more skilled. Access to the internet helps a lot too with games like that. But anywho, Spyro the Dragon, very cool game. Kind of just glazing over it, which I'm not super comfortable with, but I thought it would be a great segue to get back to where I was after Pokemon Crystal. So in 2002, and I'm probably still missing a whole bunch of games that I'm just like glazing over. 2002, shit, sorry. I know people hate when I yawn in my videos. There's always someone commenting about it. 2002 Christmas, I finally got a GameCube. I was super pissed, upset, I guess, rather. In 2001 Christmas, when I didn't get the GameCube, because the GameCube had come out in September, and I was like really, really hoping, crossing my fingers, hoping that we would get the GameCube for the 2001 Christmas, so that I could talk with all my buddies about it and play with all my buddies. But no, it was a full year. It was a full year before we got 2002 GameCube. But by that point, there was quite a few more games that had come out. Actually, let me check real quick. Just make sure I'm not sounding like an idiot. Can I see your release date, please? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so by the time that we had the GameCube for 2022, no, 2002 Christmas, not 2022, that's this year. The newest Spyro game had come out on GameCube. It was also, I think, on PlayStation and Xbox, which was kind of weird. It was a weird entry in the franchise. But I remember specifically like booting up the GameCube and booting up that game and being just floored with the water physics. And just how like everything looked like this like beautiful, almost claymation kind of like look to it. Because things were starting to seem so much more rounded. The polygon count was like a lot higher, or lower. I forget which one's which, but it's neither here nor there. But the game was super, super pretty. Very, I don't know, huge leap for me as a gamer, because like, mind you, like I was just playing Pokemon Crystal, and that was pretty much my, I don't know, my last like major game I'd been playing up until this point. So yeah, Spyro was a big one for me. Enter the Dragonfly, I don't really remember too much, like just from a gameplay standpoint. It might have been good, it might have been shit. I don't really remember. I don't think I beat it. I probably did. But it wasn't like a great game. And especially not like a memorable Spyro game even. It was definitely better than some of the other ones that had come after the first one. But the first one was like iconic, legendary, still is to this day. But anywho, moving on. So Spyro actually wasn't the only game that we got with the GameCube. We also got Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Now this game is kind of a sleeper because a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people never played it. Oh my god, it was so good. This was one of those games that was trying to basically come out of nowhere and inch its way into the platforming genre, because this was kind of like new technology, like lots of like new opportunities for innovation and whatnot. And man, they just knocked it out of the park with Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. It was such a good game. You're playing as this like little Tasmanian tiger, which they're extinct, so it's a weird like concept because like we don't really know, like we know what they look like, but not like enough that you should make a character off of one, I guess. I don't know. Like there's no conservation element here. They're extinct. But yeah. Ew, you throw like little boomerangs and whatnot. The game is just full fledged like a love letter to Australia. And it's so pretty. It's so gorgeous. It's so fun, and it's got so much character. It's a game with lots of character. And yeah, I loved the game. The soundtrack was, oh god, that comes in, it was like wow, 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 wow. God, beautiful. You know, in my last video, I said I wasn't gonna like make the like sound effects for like the fucking songs and whatnot. I just fucking did it, so I look like an idiot. But whatever. God, I love that game. I think there was a remaster. I might pick that up at some point. Maybe I'll do it today. Give me something to do this weekend. Anywho, Tasmanian Tiger, brilliant, beautiful game, love it. They made 2 sequels to my knowledge. So it's Tie 2, Tie 3. Tie 2, I remember being basically just the same stuff but with more, which isn't bad. You know, by today's standards, people act like you could, like a development team could take like 6 years to make the kind of sequels that used to make in like 9 months. And then they'd be patting themselves on the back and acting like they fucking like gave a fucking grand gift to the world. And it's just like, you guys added like 6 new guns and 3 new enemy types, 2 of which are reskinned, and you patting yourself on the back. Like, I'm not talking like Tasmanian Tiger. I'm just talking like modern developers. Like, there's a lot of, and I know there's a lot of work that goes into all that shit, but like, I don't know. I feel like we give a lot of free pass to modern developers based on like us basically just being starved for content. You know, like we have, and I don't mean starved for content because there's a lot of content in the video game world right now in the industry, but it's all vapid. It's so fucking vapid. I'm getting off on a whole nother tangent. This is not the point of the video. Alright, click off. Smash Bros. Okay. So, there was 2 games that I really wanted for the Nintendo GameCube. And my mom didn't buy either of them with the GameCube. She bought me Tasmanian Tiger. She bought me Spyro. And it was actually supposed to be a shared console, because of course it was. So the 3rd game she got was Jeremy McGrath Supercross for my little brother, because this motherfucker couldn't just play normal video games. He had to play fucking sports games and fucking car games, and me and my little brother have never ever been alike in any way, shape, or form, other than just victims of physical trauma. But anywho, yeah, Super Smash Bros. Basically, I guess my mom kind of anticipated this problem. And so like I had basically like whined and begged her to like I was like, how long is it gonna be before we can get Super Smash Bros? And how long is it gonna be before I'll get to the next one? Like, keep a little suspense going. Some of you probably know what it is, but Jesus fucking Christ, my contact's bugging me. There's like dust or something. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna pause it for just a second. Okay, that's so much better. Okay. Yep. Anywho, Super Smash Bros. Convinced her to get it. And then, so actually, I don't think it even took like a week. I think she had already bought it, but she wasn't planning on giving it to me for Christmas. She was trying to think ahead and like get it for me for my birthday. My birthday's in March, so my mom was always like buying extra Christmas presents and then holding them back to give to me for my birthday. Hated it. Hate that shit. Like, now that I'm older and wiser and I was on to that shit, like, that's fucking, I don't know. I think that's deranged shit. Also, now that I'm older and wiser, I think fucking all holidays, like, about, like, gift giving is fucking just obscene. It's just capitalist ritual shit. That's another topic, though. I'm not gonna get into politics on this video. I'm not gonna try. We might get into some, like, industry stuff that leads into some politics stuff, but Super Smash Bros. How many times am I just gonna say the title? God. So, not the original Super Smash Bros. I actually hardly ever played that one. Yeah, it was okay. It had like 8 characters. They all sucked. Except for Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon's awesome. Um, but Melee was so cool. And I was so happy that Captain Falcon was a starting character. You didn't have to unlock him. Because in the original Smash Bros., he was one of the unlockable characters. And if I remember right, he was an absolute pain in the ass to unlock. He was difficult as shit to unlock. I think for most people, he was the last character they unlocked. But Melee had a lot of cool. I was gonna say characters, but honestly, I don't really care for too many of the Melee characters they added, especially the ones they added. Young Link, he's just Link, but little boy. Dr. Mario, what a fucking travesty. He's just Mario in a lab coat. Let's see here. We got, Jigglypuff. Who cares? I guess, what was it? Hungry Man? The pro player that fucking... I don't pay attention to none of that stuff. Falco. Falco's cool. He's just Fox, but a little bit different. But I mean, is he different enough to warrant having a character slot? I don't know. Luigi, kind of the same thing. Meh. Then they add us Marth and Roy. At this point, I don't think Fire Emblem was even available in the States. So this was like a really weird, I don't know, character choice entry, whatever you want to call it. But Roy was super cool, and Marth was super cool. So those two were I didn't even care. They're cool characters. I was actually really interested in Fire Emblem at that point when Super Smash Bros. Came out. But I've still to this day never played a Fire Emblem game. Just Smash Bros. And honestly, with permadeath being one of the core features of the franchise, I'm probably never going to play it. Not like I'm afraid of permadeath or anything like that, but I'm a grown ass man. I don't want to waste my time. But yeah. Give me just one moment. I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit. Alright, that might be a little bit better. I don't know. It's a little better for me. I'm I don't know. I get testy about things. Yeah, Super Smash Bros. Super awesome. Super Smash Bros. Was one of the first games where I actually spent a lot, and I mean a lot of time playing that game. Holy shit. I unlocked every character. I unlocked every stage. I did all of the events. Including 151, the infamous. You have to fight. Okay, so you have to fight Mewtwo, Ganondorf, and Bowser? Mewtwo, Ganondorf, Bowser. And then once you... Or is it Mewtwo, Ganondorf, Bowser, or is it Giga Bowser? Giga Bowser comes into play. I think once you kill the 3, so Ganondorf, Mewtwo, Bowser, they each have 3 lives. You also only have 3 lives. You kill all 3 of them 3 times. And they'll fight each other, but not to the extent that they're fighting you. You kill all of them, and then you gotta fight Giga Bowser. And I think you only have to kill him once. But he's giant Giga Bowser. Which, I mean, maybe it's regular size, but he has the giant health pool. So he takes for fucking ever to fucking do enough damage to. Now, did I cheese that event by using Yoshi and his down B? Absolutely. Absolutely I did. I am absolutely not one of those people that's I didn't beat it unless I didn't cheese it. Nope. I'm gonna use whatever the fuck I can. I'm gonna do everything in my power to beat every fucking thing I can. And I'm not gonna feel no shame about it. I just finished Elden Ring. Um, I've beaten it 3 times now. I'm on my 4th playthrough, and I could probably clear the 4th playthrough anytime I want at this point. Have I used ashes? Of course I've used ashes. Have I used the Sword of Night and Flame? Of course I've used the Sword of Night and Flame. Am I using a bleed build now? You better believe I'm using a bleed build now. I don't got any shame about it. You know, like video games, like I can't wrap my head around the people that are elitist about video games. You know, video games are something that were developed to occupy one's free time and engage one in, you know, something that they could use to entertain themselves. The the fact that this too has become something where people want competition and hierarchy and everything like that. Fucking leaderboards, fucking we gotta fucking gatekeep everything. It's so fucking stupid and petty. I hate it. We're getting into politics though. Um, but needless to say, as far as my opinion goes on video games, I think they should always just be fun. The number one factor of a video game is fun. If people want to fucking gatekeep or like fucking talk shit about skill or whatever, they just fuck right off. I don't care. Get out of here with that shit. You're fucking toxic. Anywho, yeah. So Super Smash Bros. I spent so much time on that game. Metroid Prime. Oh my god, Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime, I loved it so much. I loved Metroid Prime like it was my first girlfriend kind of thing. Which I don't love my first girlfriend, but that's, you know what I mean. Like it's your first love. This was one of the first games I really truly fell in love with. Um, Everything I've said about all the previous games, it's all great and whatnot, but Metroid Prime I think was like the first game I would say was like a masterpiece. The story was so good. The level design was so good. The the build up, the pacing, the music, the power ups, the bosses, everything is so good. God, I love Metroid Prime. It is so good. Um, God, I don't even know where to start. The fucking opening fucking scene is it's kind of a pain, but a lot of really great games have shitty intros that like really like make people fucking fall off the wagon. Um, but yeah, you kill the space pirate queen, whatever. Um, Parasite queen, sorry, not space pirate queen. And like, there's all these scannables, so you can read the lore. There's lore. There's one of the first games to give you lore. And like information and backstory. It was so groundbreaking. It took years before they started actually like picking up on the successes of Metro. No, it was ahead of its time. It was 100% ahead of its time. Metro Prime, super ahead of its time. That's all there is to it. It just was. People are looking back. Developers are looking back now and finally starting to copy some of this stuff. Um, God, it was so good. Magmore Caverns, you know, just fucking. You've got this like ritualistic, like chanting kind of thing going on. The music, it's like with these thumping drums, and it feels super fucking cool, and like you're just like, yeah, like I'm trudging through magma, and I'm fucking fighting volcano worms, and like I'm powerful. It's like the first moment in the game where you're powerful. You don't have the Varia suit yet, so like fire still hurts. It's still hot in there, but like maybe you do. I can't remember if you had the Varia suit. Yeah, you have the Varia suit by that point because you got to fight the plant boss. God, the plant boss sucked. I hate the plant boss. But then you go to Phendrana Drifts. Phendrana Drifts is so beautiful. Phendrana Drifts was ice levels. I always have a soft spot for ice levels in games. You gotta have ice levels. Ice levels are so fucking cool. But Metroid Prime's Phendrana Drifts and the ice levels with the Sheogoths or Sheogoraths, whatever. Not Sheogorath. That's fucking Skyrim. Sheogoths, I think, is what they were called. They're like these like blue like fucking tusk looking fucking creatures or whatever, but they like hide in the snow, and they're like really fucking tough. God, they're like really powerful like little monsters. And they'll fuck you up. They'll fuck you up bad if you're not ready for them. God, that game. And then you get all the way to the end, and you gotta fight Metal Ridley, and it's a real fucking banger of a fucking boss fight, and there's super fucking cool music, and it feels like a final boss fight. Like, it feels like you just built up to this, and then they hit you with the "it's not over" kind of shit. You gotta go down into these, I don't even remember what it was, like a spaceship or something like that, and you gotta get past all these Metroids, which at this point is like basically the first time you've seen a lot of Metroid in the game. Like, there's some you've maybe passed by or killed or whatever earlier in the game, but there wasn't too many. Sorry. But now there's tons of them. They're everywhere. And eventually you get to the end and you fight Metroid Prime, the game's namesake, and it's a fucking tough boss fight. I remember being tough. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I haven't gone back. I should. I gotta go back and play Metroid Prime. That's gotta be one I add to my list, because new games suck. I want to go back. I want to be Monkey. Yeah, Metroid Prime, beautiful, perfect, beautiful, perfect game. Metroid Prime 2 sucks ass. Metroid Prime 3 is fucking garbage. Sorry, that's my opinion. I think when they went into the whole light versus dark shit, it got real fucking boring. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care. Like, take me back. Give me water levels. Give me fucking lightning levels. You know, I'm a sucker for the like elemental stuff. Like, quick aside, Monster Hunter World was my first Monster Hunter game, and holy shit, I loved that game. I actually remember distinctly having like a Metroid Prime moment with that game where I was like, this is it. This is a good one. This is one of those games that I'm going to remember forever. I'm always going to be happy about it. Fuck. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want to yawn. Okay, so that was all the ones I had lined up because I got all those games basically at the same time. So shit. 2004. 2004 was an insane year in video gaming, if I remember correctly. We've got shit. What was it? Was that Coliseum? Did Coliseum come out? I'm gonna check real quick. Jesus fuck, there's another page. Pokemon. Okay, so I guess we're not quite to Coliseum, I guess. I thought Pokemon Coliseum was 2004. Let me check. Yeah, it was May 2004. Or no, it was. Yeah, it was 2004. Okay, well, we're not going to use Pokemon games because I am going to talk about Pokemon games later in a different video. Um, so, yeah, we'll use 2000. I don't know. So up to this point, I still don't have another console. I'm still just rocking the GameCube, right? So this is 2 years later. I'm skipping 2003, going to 2004. Actually, honestly, I don't think I played any more really cool games. Oh, I did get a Game Boy Advance at this point. Played Metroid Fusion. Metroid Fusion was super, super cool. Super happy with that. Pokemon games. Pokemon games, Pokemon games, Pokemon games. I never played anything else on my Game Boy. I played Metroid and Pokemon. That's it. Yeah, I guess we gotta move on until Jesus. When was it? 2000. When did I get my PlayStation? Let's see here. PS2 Slim release date 2004. All right, that's probably when it happened then. Of course, this fucking wiki doesn't say fucking shit. Slim models in 2004. Okay, well, we can assume. I got it for my birthday, 2004. So that's when I first played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Oh, Jesus. That was probably one of the first games, since I had become a teenager at least. Actually, was I a teenager? I would have been 12. A young man, we'll say. Since I'd become a young man. Where, like, I was like, damn, this game's hard. I'm not going to beat this one. But for a while there, I was actually starting to get good enough at video games that I was pretty regularly beating them. But not San Andreas. San Andreas was a pain in the ass, even with cheat codes. Yeah, that game's rough. Okay, 2005. What games came out in 2005? 2004 also had Halo 2, but again, by this point, I still don't have an Xbox. I never got an original Xbox, actually. 2005... Shit, was 2005 360? Was that when the 360 came out? I didn't get a 360 when it first came out. What I can talk about, though, is Final Fantasy X. I never actually owned Final Fantasy X for the original PlayStation 2. But what I did do is I borrowed from some friends of mine. And, God, Final Fantasy X is another one of those games that, like, it's just at the timepiece. It's a beautiful, perfect timepiece. Gun to my head, if I have to pick a Final Fantasy game, and, like, I want someone to experience Final Fantasy for what it is, 10. It's always 10. I think it's the best Final Fantasy. I never really had the nostalgia for 7 because I didn't play 7 when everybody else did. I actually, interestingly enough, I waited until the remake. I still, to this day, have not played the original Final Fantasy 7. I once I realized it was such a zeitgeist kind of game, I we'd started to see a shift in the industry where we were starting to see remakes, um, namely with like kind of like Pokemon and stuff like that. But it was starting to catch on as like an idea that other developers were starting to look into. And I remember it wasn't it wasn't that long after Seven had released that one of the developers was already, or like one of the guys that worked at Square Enix was like already considering doing a remake. And it was like at that point, at that time, it was mind blowing to think of someone remaking a game that hadn't even come out that long ago. Um, but even then, I was like, they're gonna remake this game. Like as a child, I basically knew that the game was gonna get remade. So, yeah, I waited. I waited the whole time. Um, I think I mostly avoided a lot of the major spoilers, other than Earth. I did end up playing Crisis Core. Crisis Core gives away a little bit here and there, but Crisis Core actually does a pretty good job of setting up for Seven without spoiling Seven. I've heard a lot of people say that, like, in their opinion, they think you should play Seven first and then Crisis Core so you have the context. Honestly, as someone, I'm probably one of like 12 people on the planet that this ended up happening this way. I really think that having played Crisis Core first, it just made me that much more excited to try and play 7. Um, and especially now with the remake where they're showing Zack in some of the, like, material. Um, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful Zack comes back. That would be really fucking cool if they find a way to bring him in to the remake. Um, Unfortunately, I don't have a PS5, so I'm not playing Interlude. I don't know if I need to play Interlude. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna get a PS5 just so I can play the remake either. So, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about games that I have already played. Um, so 2006, I finally get an Xbox. Um, believe it was for Christmas. I think it was for Christmas of 2006. Um, Gears of War had just come out shortly before it, November 7th of 2006. So we got Gears of War and we got an Xbox 360. And I, to this day, am fucking livid about the way my mom got the 360. Just because it's financially just idiocy. But it was the only option she claimed she had available at the time. She took out a Home Depot credit card. And with the Home Depot credit card, she used the website for Home Depot and ordered an Xbox 360 from Home Depot. This was back when Home Depot was kind of trying to like inch into selling video game consoles because they were saying like it's part of like a home improvement kind of angle. Like the perfect living room's gonna have an Xbox kind of thing. And I think Microsoft probably had a hand in that a little bit too. Because they tried to do the same thing with Xbox One, where they were like, oh, it's a part of everybody's living room. Um, but, anywho, um, yeah. So, it was over $600 for a basic model Xbox 360. Not like the premium one with the larger hard drive. Not like it came with a game. She had to buy Gears of War separately. It was like over $600 for just a regular ass Xbox 360. Mind you, this is a year after they came out, so it's not like, the markets have started to regulate a little bit. I do remember it was kind of hard to get 360s when they first came out. It was like one of the first consoles where that was kind of an issue. I think GameCube might have been a little bit like that, but I wouldn't know. I got mine in 2002 instead of 2001, like everybody else. But with the 360 came the ability for me to finally play Halo. Now, I'd played Halo a little bit here and there with my friends who also owned Xbox consoles. So, like, it's not like I hadn't played Halo, but this was the first time I could play Halo on my own terms. Like, I didn't have to, like, endure some fucking bullshit custom games or fucking, like, help do some fucking bullshit legendary co-op campaign shit, which, I mean, like, I love co-op now, but, like, back then, like, I don't know, doing stuff that, like, nowadays would be considered, like, achievement hunting kind of stuff. Oh, man, it was miserable. Oh, that was the other thing. Getting a 360, I became an achievement hunter. I became an achievement hunter really, really fast. It was such a fucking addicting thing. Such an addicting concept. Now it's everywhere. It's integrated into everything. And no one gives Xbox any credit for it. But the achievements, they pioneered that system. And that system still to this day, I think, sells games. Like, I don't mean like people buy games so that they can get achievements, but I think people continue to play games for achievements, even if they're not called achievements, whether it be called trophies or whether it be called, like fucking like milestones, PC, Steam points. I'm not a PC gamer, so yeah. But yeah, so Gears of War. We're gonna end on Gears of War. I'll talk a little bit about Gears of War. Gears of War was my first truly, I was gonna say truly mature game, but I also talked about San Andreas not too long ago. I really don't think Grand Theft Auto, until 4, was really that mature of a franchise. Like, oh yeah, you can shoot people and kill people and whatnot, but it was cartoony. It was cartoony, Conker's Bad Fur Day kind of shit. Like, that's the way it felt to me, anyways. Like, it didn't feel like something I could parallel as like a real thing. It just felt like it was like gimmicky cartoon stuff, which was fine because like I didn't want to be traumatized or anything like that. But Gears of War felt kind of real, and it might have also been because the graphics got a huge jump again. The difference between Xbox graphics and Xbox 360 graphics, to me at least, at the time, I remember it being like a pretty stark contrast. Like it was huge. Like things started to get shiny, and I mean like truly shiny, which is not something that we had really had before that. Master Chief was supposed to be shiny, but yeah. But yeah, Gears of War had a chainsaw gun, and that was really cool. I really liked the story to Gears of War. Too bad, literally, not even the developers did. The story of Gears of War as a franchise. Maybe I'll make a video about the Gears of War franchise. Story of Gears of War franchise is all over the fucking place. It is a fucking mess. They had a lot of cool concepts going into the first game, and then it has just been... no one cares. And they know no one cares, so they don't put any effort into it. It's like, it's an insult to any of the players who are actually giving a shit and reading stuff. The collectibles, the lore items, whatever. Like, some of it's coherent enough that it's interesting, but, like, one thing I will never forget is, after I played Gears of War 2, I just remember, like, watching the credits and being like, what about the fucking sirens? or the sires. Like, what are we gonna fucking learn about the sires? And then I play Gears 3, and they don't even fucking talk about the sires. And I'm like, what about the fucking sires? And like then I find out there's books, there's like novels about Gears of War, and they also don't talk about the fucking sires. It's like this like really really big moment. There's a whole level around the sires, and you just dump their test tube locusts. And he's like, all right, Marcus, I want to find my wife. You just fucking move on. Anywho, all right. That's we're at 51 minutes now. That's part 2. That's part 2 of my life through video games. I also want to apologize. I've apologized to my wife numerous times already in the last couple days. I've been watching an obscene amount of donkey videos. And so as a result, I have this like weird tick where if I like listen to someone's accent for too long or their idiolect for too long, I start to mimic it. So if it sounded at all like you're watching this video and it was like, it sounds like he's trying to do an accent or something, yeah, I wasn't trying to. It's just I'm trying to break out of it. I'm at the point now where I'm watching my old videos to remember what I sound like, because for the last week I've been watching donkey videos. I love Donkey. Donkey's hilarious. But anywho, yeah. So my life through video games. That was part 2. I might get to part 3 at some point, but literally I'm going to click this, start the upload, and then talk about the Pokemon games. So thank you all for watching. 52 minutes of content. Bye bye.